Good evening, viewer. You're most welcome to the Nilecast on West Nile Television, where we give you the daily news bulletins of the day, every day from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. My name is Okumaringa Christine. Before we dive into any of the stories, let's first have a look at the news making headlines. In the headlines tonight, Rotary In the headlines tonight, Rotary Club of Arua donates assorted items to Arua Government Prison. Fulfilling the middle income status through parish development model in Koboko District. And India's population surpasses China mid-2023. It's Thursday, the 20th of April 2023, and you're most welcome to the Nilecast on West Nile Television. Now let us dive into some of the stories of the evening. Rotary Club of Arua Eco City, in partnership with the Rotary Club of New Westminster, Vancouver, Canada, gifted the Arua government prisons with 300 mattresses, spray camps, chemicals to support the prisoners being kept in the facility so that they can live a comfortable life. Dennis Soringi reports more.
Rotary Club of Arua, in partnership with the Rotary Club of New Westminster, Vancouver, Canada, yesterday moved to Arua Government Prison and donated 300 mattresses and blankets to the prisoners. In a function held in the prison, Public Relations Officer Rotary Club Arua, Dr. Robert Shandia, says out of the 300 beds, 260 were donated by their partner Rotary Club of Westminster, Vancouver, Canada. Meanwhile, the 40 mattresses were donated by one of the members of Rotary Club of Arua, following the need assessment conducted at the government prison.
Our partners made good of their word and got in touch with us that they have managed to raise some funds, and we go ahead and get these items locally. And that's how we managed to have these 260 mattresses, and then one of our members also offered 40 other mattresses. That is the genesis of it. And we are here. We shall not get tired because
the President Rotary Club of Arua, Moses Anguzo, says the donation extended to the prisoners is filling the existing gaps that the government might not be able to fill easily because of the resource constraint.
Rotarians are people of goodwill who identify needs in the community and pull their own resources together to be able to help the less privileged in our community. And one of them is what we are doing with you people. And the gaps we identified are not your weaknesses because of resource limitations. We know that we wish your people to sleep well, but because the government cannot provide everything, other stakeholders come through, and that is how we all behave and work together.
To the prisoners, Angozo advises them to remain hopeful and admit that being in prison does not mean the end of life.
Some fault somewhere which happened, and now it has brought you people here, and you have now known the truth. If you had committed some offense, your presence here should be able to make you change from what happened before to what is now.
The Deputy Mayor Arua City Inzikro, Millicent Millie, who represented the city mayor during the handover of the items to the prison authority, calls on the prisoners who are the beneficiaries of these items to always embrace love for one another much as they are at prison, and she credits the prison officers for their commitment to serve the prisoners.
Some of you are people from far. As we stay together, stay as brothers, so love to one another. when you are not in a community, you should learn to be good to each other in everything. The little they give you to share, you share it. Our leaders taking care of our inmates, I want to appreciate you. You have a humble duty, to which I always feel you are the best. When you take the security, you are the best. You are humble, you are like a mothers, because you have a big responsibility to take care of people of different characters.
Millie appreciates the Rotary Club of Arua for always standing with the needy, and she urges the club members to continue with this support even to other people who are outside prison.
The work Jesus said in the Bible, when I was in prison, did you go to see me? They are saying, on behalf of Jesus, now for you, you are responding, here we are. Can we clap for them? I want to say, may your club continue to grow. Amen. This is not a club as the Arua city we are identified with. We are proud of you, because if it were not because of you right now, the city has not organized such a gift for the prison. Would the city mayor come here to talk? No. The fact that the city mayor is here representing the whole city is because of your contribution, your charitable work. God should continue to give you more and more, and you have already testified.
After handing over the mattresses to the male prisoners at the male wing, the club members of Rotary Club of Arua moved to the female wing of the prison to extend the same gesture, which the officer in charge of the female section, Jane Ayikoro, is grateful for the support.
These inmates, not that all of them are guilty. There are some who are not really guilty. But you know, all of us are potential prisoners. Anytime we can also find ourselves here. But let God help us so that we support, since they are here, we have to support them. And next time, maybe when it is, but I pray that we should not also be here to put on them like the way they are also here. They've been here, not that they are feeling okay, but they are not also feeling okay. But when we encourage them like this, at least they will feel that they have hope ahead.
It should be noted that this is not the first time the Rotary Club of Arua has extended support to Arua Government Prison. The club has been in touch with the prison through different support, including promotion of tree planting, where in 2017 the club planted fruit trees both inside the prison compound and outside. Dennis Oringi, Western Television, Nilecast.
And more in our stories for the evening. Disability is not inability is proved by the private businesses dealing in hotel and hospitality services in Koboko District. Catering as a mission, commonly known as CAM Connect, has piqued interest in empowering persons with hearing impairment. Let's have more on that story.
As many employers across the globe distance from employing persons living with disability, Catering as a Mission in Koboko District has taken the lead to skill and employ the persons with hearing impairment in Koboko District. Ella Comfort and Baifa Zainab, who are both living with hearing impairment in Koboko District, have expressed great gratitude to the management of Catering as a Mission, CAM Connect Hotel, for empowering and employing them.
Now she said, thank you, God, for Peter and Helen, because she has no parents, but because of the two, her life has come back. Before, her life was difficult, but now it is very good. Because the work here provides her with soap and any other thing that she wants.
Lemeriga Sabino, LC3 chairperson for Koboko North Division, explained the categories to which the persons living with disability fall to in local government service delivery programs, while Lona Amina, a performing artist, pledged to adopt and support such people in the community where she will be in.
The persons with the special interest, they normally fall under the community development officer, and there is a budget for them. Especially there are those grants that come from central government and also the local revenue. I may not be able to put it conclusively, but I think there is a money that is meant for their programs. More especially, they have their big days, they have their activities around. So in most cases, they are catered for because they are part of the division.
You teach him mostly by practice. It is not like theory, no. You need to practice very serious, and you really need to have love for him. Because in the beginning it will look like he felt the work looks to be tedious, and even he could not agree easily. But you keep signing to him, interpreting the importance of when he could get this knowledge, how best he will be tomorrow. So just 6 months, this is already a perfect person who can do what he can.
Where I'm going, I think this is the best thing to do, to help people who are really disabled in life. You know, this is the best thing. And I was telling my friend, I say, you know what, today I've seen this one different, and I have to do for somebody. Yeah, so if we see that if people do this in our country and even other nations, this will be a very wonderful thing.
Baifa, however, mentioned language as one of the challenges they face while at work in the hotel and hospitality department, while Innocent Kepo, one of the specialists in sign language, has encouraged all institutions to adopt sign language as part of their languages to use at work.
Sometimes when the customers come here, communication is a problem. Because the customer wants something, but she's unable to understand because she's a deaf. When it is now impossible, she goes and calls a hearing person to communicate with the customer. Yet sometimes it is something very simple. Maybe the customer needs a towel, but you find that she cannot understand.
But now the challenge, even like these 5 that we've trained, I think they try to go and work somewhere, but it's still because the people who are employing them, they don't know the language. They end up pushing them out of the job, and they come back to Camp Connect. Like I remember one of them we trained, she worked well, and she got an opportunity. She was taken to Kampala for another training. So when she finished a training there for 1 year, she could not fit in another institution to work. What she has to do is to come back to us and ask us for a space, and we just accepted that because we believe that at least we have the language, you can be able to share the little we have with them.
To include deaf people is by learning sign language. You cannot include any deaf person into your work without you knowing their language and without them understanding you. The first thing for any company, for any NGO, for any hotel to do before recruiting deaf people is to learn sign language, or else to employ the deaf people and then also get an interpreter to work along with them.
Helen Knight, the assistant proprietor for Camp Connect, has encouraged all parents and other stakeholders to support their children living with disability equally to the able ones.
I want to tell the people out there, if there are some hearing impaired children, they should not be left to stay at home. One, they should go to school. Like in Koboko, we have Teremunga, that the most hearing impaired children are taught there, and there are many of them who have passed their PLE very well. And there are those who are not able to continue up to primary 7 like Baifa. Let them be allowed to do work so that they can start earning, and they start supporting you as a parent like another child.
And I also want to encourage other bodies, like in the local government system, in the private sector. Let us try to implore and put these people into a very good use by making them part of the society, so that they don't feel they are rejected, because we are all human beings. Some of the causes of this impairment can happen to any person, and I think it's also very important that we also sympathize with them and we put them as part of the society.
Aloro has urged for the interventions of government to establish a secondary school and tertiary institutions to cater for the persons living with disability in the district.
The appeal is the government must go beyond in checking the society. They must not only end with those who have the powers to vote. If you look at the Paris development model, does not take care of the most disadvantaged in the society.
The intervention the government need to bring, particularly in Koboko, is this. Koboko has a primary school for the deaf, but it doesn't have a secondary school for the deaf. And that has caused a lot of dropout from the school. Most of the deaf that I'm working with here, they drop out from Teremanga Primary School. Reasons being, they ask me the question, what is the importance of continuing with education when there is no secondary school in Koboko, and yet they come from a poor families? So that is one of the interventions, that if the government can bring an institution in Koboko that is teaching the deaf people in the secondary school, and they are able also to bring the vocational schools where the deaf people are enrolled into all this program like another person, that would be very helpful. But that does not solve the problem if the government or the community or individuals cannot invest in learning the sign language. Our dream is that we want to have this institution empowering the people with disabilities, especially those with hearing impairment in Uganda and even beyond Uganda.
Catering as a mission is a private institution that is established in Koboko district under the hotel and hospitality sector that has taken lead to empower the persons living with disability in Koboko district. Joseph Churwa, West Nile TV, Nilecast.
And more in our stories for the evening. In a commitment to fight poverty at household levels to uplift 30% of households from poverty to middle income status, the resident district commissioner for Koboko, Tom Olinga, has emphasized on the need for people to embrace the parish development model. And he was joined by the member of parliament for Koboko County, Honorable James Baba, who has urged the lenders to help to support the beneficiaries in the enterprise selection. Let's have more on that story.
This function here is feeding into the 4 principles of NRM. That is patriotism, that is Pan-Africanism, that is democracy, and socio-economic transformation. And as I talk now, one of the pillars in PDM of infrastructure development is being realized here in Koboko. We are now looking at a facility that is directly feeding into the manifesto of the NRM, that is of socio-economic transformation. There is no way people can go to the middle income, which we are fighting for as a government, as a party, without having healthy people. And actually today, against of honor, you can witness that the fertility rates of Koboko are quite high. Even here, when you count the women who are pregnant, visibly and non-visibly, there are many. But this all is a result of the government, the intervention the government have had in child care and child health care, in the public health care, and also the peace which we are enjoying is ushering us into one of the dreams of His Excellency. That is ushering Uganda into a middle income country. We are there, but there are some indicators which we are supposed to fulfill in order for us to be declared by the UN. The new scheme on the block, the PDM, the Parish Development Model. Again, it will be unwise for us not to tell you, people who are here, that that is the one which is going to deliver the people of Koboko from poverty to middle income. Please embrace the PDM And guest of honor, I am happy to report that we have had so far 114 households that have received the money, the PDM money, on their accounts in Ludera sub-county and in Media. They have received this money, and by the end of this month, many of the households would have received the money on their accounts in order for them to fight poverty and enjoy their life in Uganda.
PDM is a very, very good government project. The thinking of the president is that the lowest person, the poorest person, the 39% must be reached to lift him or her up. That is what PDM is about. By financial support. Now my problem with PDM is this: Wanara DC, commercial officer, and our local district leaders. The selection of enterprises will not help our PDM. Look at Banda, look at Teiko, look at Pulu, Iekas More, Imani, Modorios million mera mratiti. So I want to plead, let us look carefully again at our enterprise selection. That can bring us the 20 million. This money now 130 have received must be guided properly about the enterprises they select, which can bring them 20 million. Not maize, not granules, not cassava on 3 or 4 acres here in Koboko. They can try it elsewhere, but here in Koboko, I doubt whether it will work. So let's put our heads together and support our people in selecting the enterprises properly.
And to end our Nilecast for the evening, India is set to overtake China as the world's most populous country by media, with almost 3 million more people, according to the United Nations Populations Fund State of the World Population Report. India's population will be 1,428,000,000 compared to China's 1,425,000,000 media 2023. India hasn't recently no data on how many people it has because it's not conducted a census since 2011. India's once-in-a-decade census was due to be held in 2021 but was delayed due to the COVID-19 epidemic. And with that story, viewer, we've come to the end of the Nilecast on West Nile Television. Thank you for being with us from the beginning of the Nilecast to the end of the Nilecast, only on West Nile Television. Please stay tuned to the rest of the subsequent programs that may follow. My name is Okumuringa Christine. Have a good evening.